It looks like Darby Allin is gone from AEW. This according to a brand new report that details what exactly is going on with the former TNT champion. One of the faces of AEW is no longer going to be on TV, at least for the next little bit. We're going to talk about what's going on, how Darby Allin went from someone who reportedly was supposed to win the AEW World Championship as far back as this past fall to now his future in AEW being a bit uncertain. We're talking about that. We're also going to talk about WWE announcer Corey Graves, who was pulled from the main roster and, in some people's eyes, demoted. Yes, demoted to NXT. We're going to talk about that situation, how that's shaping up, what could be in his future as well. All that and much more coming up right here in this video. So be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, let's talk about Darby Allin, former TNT champion. Supposedly at one point was supposed to be the AEW World Champion. The original plans had Darby to face Bryan for the AEW World Championship and eventually be the guy to beat him. That was eventually changed down the line. That is why we saw at Grand Slam Darby Allin give his AEW World Championship opportunity over to Jon Moxley. And Moxley since then has been the champion and has been running a rough job through the entire company. The idea was then to have Darby be the guy to dethrone Mox. And all of that seemed to have been in the works, seemed to have been planned. But now we're getting confirmation that it does not look like that is the case. Sean Ross Sapp and FightfulSelect.com have reported the following. Quote, Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp has confirmed that Darby Allin has been off the road of late and hasn't been on AEW TV. We're told that Allin has started his training for Mount Everest and isn't expected to be back for months. So it was speculated that Darby was going to try to do the Everest thing again. For those who may not know, Darby in 2024, just last year, was supposed to climb Mount Everest. It was something that he had spoken about at length. It was something that he had always wanted to do, and he's finally in a position to do it, and he was going to try. And unfortunately, at AEW Big Business, he ended up injuring his foot and was unable to proceed with that climb, and he was unable to do that. And ever since then, there was speculation, well, he might get around to doing it in 2025. And the question was always, how is the situation with the AEW World Championship, with his booking and all that going to impact things? Well, it looks like Darby is indeed not going to be around for the next couple of months. It has been speculated that his climb will be in April. I believe he had said that to TMZ or indicated that to TMZ at one point as well. So looks like no Darby Allin for the foreseeable future. It looks like he will not be the guy. And look, there is this idea that Darby climbs Everest in April. He might need a month or two to recuperate, but in July you have All In and you have him win the belt there. In my view, I think people are already too tired of the Death Riders in their current state to go forward with that plan. I think AEW has an out here. You have the ability to get out of this. Darby, when he does win the championship eventually, and he will happen, I think it's going to be more of one of those Mick Foley runs rather than one of those, dominant Bryan Danielson like runs as a world champion. Now, that doesn't mean that he won't turn into that. Anything can happen. But in the way that Darby has been portrayed on TV and in the way he's been booked, it just does not scream to you that this guy is the next champion. Especially when you have a guy like Ospreay in the mix. Especially when you have Swerve Strickland, Hangman Adam Page waiting in the wings for their rematch for the AEW World Championship. Especially when you have a guy like Kenny Omega who just returned. I don't care what happens. Omega needs to be the guy who takes down Mox. It either needs to be him or it needs to be Ospreay. because when you are looking down the barrel at All In, you're in a situation from a business standpoint. And this is where, look, booking and business kind of coincide here, in my view. From a business standpoint, All In Texas right now has sold right around 10,000 tickets as of WrestleTix's last count. You're looking at an arena that you want to get at least like 20, or in the ballpark, you want to get at least 20,000. Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley is not going to get you there, in my view. That as your main event, I don't think will get you there. Now, Okada versus Omega for the first time on American soil for the AEW World Championship, that's a match that could get you there. Ospreay versus Swerve, or Ospreay versus whoever, or Ospreay versus maybe even Mox at that point for the AEW World Championship, that's a match that could get you there. I just don't see Darby as in that right now. And that doesn't mean it won't happen. It doesn't mean I don't want it to happen. I want Darby to be the champion. I think he should at some point. And when he does, it is going to be one of those heart and soul of AEW reigns. It's going to be like when Sami Zayn won the NXT championship in NXT back in 2014. He was the heart and soul of that company. That's what Darby Allin represents. And it's going to be one of those title reigns, at least initially. Who knows what it could go into and muster into later on. But that's where we are as of right now. And him not being on TV is not going to help things. So, Darby's going to Everest. AEW's going to move forward. I'm going to shill my memberships. Please become a member. YouTube.com/Real Take Wrestling. Become a member. Get access to exclusive perks such as emotes, access to the Real Take Vault, and of course, you get comments. Replies to your comments. I messed it up the first time. I'm messing it up now. You get replies to your comments on every single video. All right, let's move on and talk about the other news out of WWE this week. Corey Graves seems to have been demoted in some people's eyes. Well, let's talk about it. So earlier this week, PW Insider had reported that the plan was to move Corey Graves off of SmackDown, have him move down to NXT to join Vic Joseph and Booker T on the commentating team down there. You have right now on Raw, of course, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. On SmackDown, you have Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett as your lead commentating teams. They tried for a little bit to have Corey be the straight man, lead commentator. It just did not work, and it's a hard job to do, especially when you've been Corey Graves for the past couple of years, and you've been the color commentator, and one of the better color commentators in recent memory. I think people will view this as a demotion. People will view this as, him not being good enough compared to everyone else and all that. I think this is a combination of two factors. Number one, I think right now WWE has finally come to the realization that three-man booths are not where it's at, especially not on a weekly basis for every single match. I think it took them a long time to get to this point, but a two-man intimate booth going back and forth with each other, kind of building that rapport, allows you to feel like you're having a conversation, right? Because, when you get to three, right, three's a crowd. That's when it starts to become a crowd. So I think that a two-man booth for WWE, hell, if AEW wants to go in that direction, that'd be great too. Just saying. But a two-man booth for WWE right now is the direction they should go in. And it is unfortunate because you have to find a place for Corey Graves, right? He seems to be the odd man out. You could have him go and be in Wade Barrett's place on SmackDown, but I think the eventual plan, right, is they want to have in place Corey Graves the ability to go in for Pat McAfee. When Pat McAfee eventually, later this summer or into the fall, has to go away, because we know he's going to have to go away for college football. He always does that. He always does the college game day stuff. He does the ESPN stuff. He's going to be very busy. He's going to be very busy come early this summer, or later this summer, early fall. So in that instant, you're going to see McAfee leave, I think, Raw, and then Graves come in and replace him as the lead color commentator. So that's why I personally don't view this as necessarily a demotion. I also think, man, he's been around for a while. I think WWE wants to get some new faces. They want to get some new voices. They want to get a new vibe in and switch out that commentary. On NXT this week, he was kind of like hit or miss, honestly. Like I like usually Vic and Booker have a pretty good rapport with each other. I think like as a duo, they're my favorite in WWE as of this moment. But Corey just seemed to be like blown away by like how much of a crash out that announced team can be sometimes. So hopefully he'll get used to it. And hopefully you guys get used to me because I got your wrestling news Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunday as well at 11 a.m. Eastern for the live stream. Be sure to tune in. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in and making it this far into the video. I appreciate every single one of you. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Corey Graves situation. Is this a demotion in your eyes? Is it not? What's going on? Also, let me know what you guys think about the Darby Allin news. Should he be climbing Everest? God help us all and pray for Darby, man. Shout out to that man. He is living his dream and he is going forward with it. A dream that I can't say I have. He can climb Everest. I will climb to the top of my stairs into my kitchen and grab a soda. Shout out to Darby Allin, though. Guys, let me know in the comment section, though. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.